Okay, hi everybody, welcome back to the Coderoom. Okay, in this episode, we're going to take a slight diversion and introduce you to something called Chrome Developer Tools, okay? Now, this exists in other browsers as well. Safari has them, Internet Explorer has them, Firefox has them. They're all tools to help you as a developer and help you understand code and understand where things are going wrong and to view those things. And we're going to introduce you to two main aspects of that, okay? The first one is called the page source, all right? So when you are in your browser and you're looking at a web page like the one that you've created here, okay? You have to remember that your browser has opened up a file, read through that file, and then presented your information on screen here, right? So your browser has a copy of that file somewhere. You actually have access to view that code, okay? So if you right-click anywhere on your web page, okay, you can go to View Page Source, all right? And this exists on most browsers, okay? And when you click on that, what the browser does is actually show you your HTML code, okay? So here's the HTML code that you've typed out, all right? So the nice thing is, I mean, you have it here in Sublime and you're typing it, but let's say something goes wrong and you're not really sure what's happening. You can view the page source here to see maybe Chrome will pick up something or has read it wrong, or you be more obvious to see it here, okay? Now, this is really handy, again, for debugging and figuring out what's going on with your website, but it's also really helpful if you want to see how other websites do what they do, okay? So let me give you an example. So let's go to bitesite.ca. So this is a website here, okay? And let's say you're very curious about how they coded this HTML, okay? What you can do is you can right-click and go to View Page Source. Now, at this stage in your career, it's probably going to be a little bit complicated, some of the stuff, but some of the stuff you actually will understand. Okay, you'll see some ahref tags that you guys know at this point. You see some image tags, which you know at this point. You see H1s, which you'll see at this point. You'll see a lot of these things that you know and are familiar with, all right? So View Page Source is a really helpful tool for you not only to debug your own websites, but to see how other websites do what they do, okay? And when we get into future lessons, this will become very, very important. Okay, so that's View Page Source. Now, another closely related tool, okay, but it's just a slightly different variation, is called Inspect Element, all right? And what this does is it allows you to dive in and see one specific element, okay, or one specific tag. So let's go to the website that we've been building here, okay? So we have the home, the about, the contact, the movies, the TV, the video games, okay? And, okay, so let's say we want to take a look at just one part of the code. Let's say we just want to take a look at this image. Okay, so we can right-click it, all right? And like when we're right-clicking, we can go to View Page Source, but here if we right-click on a specific part of the web page, we can go to Inspect. Now when you click on that, what's really cool is that Chrome opens up this kind of section here, and you can see the code, but you can also see that specific part, okay? And in fact, as you hover on any part of the code, you'll actually see the other parts in the website. You'll see how they're being highlighted there, right? So if I hover on the H1 in movies, you'll see it's highlighting that part at the top, all right? And again, this is another great tool for you to kind of figure out maybe things that might be going wrong on your website, okay? So I'll give you an example here. So let's say I accidentally typed, so let me just close this here. Let's say I accidentally typed images, but I spelled images wrong. So I had like this here, okay? And I saved it, and I refreshed the page. And I say, oh, look, my Casey Lee and my TV and video games image is loading, but why isn't this loading properly? I don't know what's going on there, right? So what I can do is I can right-click it, go to Inspect, okay? And I take a look at the code here and I see, oh, okay, I've typed it wrong there, right? You can kind of see it there. And then so you can go back and then fix that, and then you're good, okay? Now, this may not be super obvious in helping you right now, but I tell you, when we get into dynamic code and server code and all that stuff in the future, this becomes invaluable, okay, to be able to inspect these elements, okay? And like I said, what's really great about these tools is you can see how other websites are doing things. So if there's a website that you really like and you're like, how did they do that, or how did they code that? Okay, you can use inspect element or view page source to get that. You'll see that in future videos when we dive into CSS and how to style elements. This also becomes very helpful in figuring out how they made a button look a certain way or how they made text look a certain way. All right, so that's Chrome Developer Tools. That's just a brief introduction. This will become very important in the future. All right, we'll see you guys in the next episode.